So I did a little bit of exploring and added a couple more mods, just the little ones. Got one that updates the sounds. Let me get some things worked out real fast before we fully start the stream. Right. It's working this time. Alright. Getting everything sorted out for the stream. Which I do prefer to do that on stream rather than before. I feel like it just allows for a bit of like ability to open up the stream properly. It's a learning experience for everyone. Okay. You crafted it too. Dang. Okay. Maybe. I kinda like using some of the sorcerer stuff, but alright, so tombstones are definitely gonna be needed for that. Alright, did a few things before. We also got the signature mod, which is amazing for this, because the signature mod also applies to the Pokemon, which I should have installed that at the very beginning, but yeah, we finally got these. Also, it was one level away for the Pidgey, and we finally got it leveled up. So that worked out. See if we can make some glass. Go. Didn't even realize glass armor was a thing. Okay. I don't think I'll use any of those. Alright. Needed to get a few things organized before stream. Alright. Officially, since we did evolve our Pidgey to Pidgeotto, to the Pidgeotto, that does mean we now have to fight a boss. And on top of that, I'm gonna relist the rules now that I've had a day to actually make the rules for this little series. Could only have 9 Pokemon. Alright. I can't get any duplicates. If a Pokemon faints, then that's it. Meaning, let's say Charmander faints next. No more Charmander. Obviously, basic. That's one of the most basic rules for it. Now, I will say each boss will count as a gym. Not restricted any class, so any weapons work, any armor, any accessories. Pokemon always has to be out. However, whenever I beat a boss, that will allow me to catch one more Pokemon. And I'll just have to retire one of these. That way, so whenever hard mode hits, we can actually get some options. And I think that would probably open up a little bit of leeway. And availability, obviously, to getting better stuff. And that's about it on any rule updates. I'm having a workout getting everything set up real quick. Okay. That. Yeah. So the rule still stands that if a Pokemon does faint, it's out. Now, I will say this. Let's say, again, Charmander faints, we kill a boss. Charmander is still out. Anything of the Charmander line, we can't catch. So if we find like a Charizard at some point after Charmander faints, even if we kill Moonlord, we can't catch another one of the species. So it's completely out. And we can swap them in and out when we kill a boss. So if we kill the King Slime, we can just swap it in and out for like Charmander. Let's say we have. I'm trying to think. Do we not have? I wonder. Yeah, Totodile. I'll use Totodile. So okay. So Charmander is out. We catch a Totodile, kill a boss. We can then swap Totodile for the Charmander. I just generally think that can make it a little bit better. It opens up a little bit of opportunity to actually experience the Pokemon a little bit more, while still abiding by the rules of the challenge. So it's modified a little bit, just for the convenience of Terraria. Should be about it on anything we've had updated. Which, if we are going to be fighting a boss, I would prefer King Slime. Just generally over anything. Okay, that's the Helldiver. Okay, still have it. Is that Carlo? Yeah. Needing... guess we're not gonna be able to buy something tonight. I think I should have it. No, just hearts. Okay. Oh, I think I can craft it actually. Will we consider the Goblin Army as a as one? I think I would. Which would be kind of easy. All we'd have to do would be wall it off like that. Put our Pokemon on top of the house and literally just let it go at it. Especially with our summons. But what I think we can do is go on a little mining exhibition. It's like, look at that. Let's go ahead and open these. And we'll put them up. There we go. Okay, Sardian Rejuvenation Bead. Heart Reach. Completely missed those. I think, yeah, that's just the... Oh. Okay, so that is not just the Runeterra's version. Alright. Okay. Tsunami in a bottle. what we'll do is we'll take all the baits. There we go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take all these down into the area. That way we can actually just get this sorted out, have our auto fisher back up and running. I will put that there. Which we have a lot of dynamite. I don't think it would be bad to just... Not dynamite, just bombs. I don't think it would be that bad to... Probably shouldn't have him on. Probably keep Eevee. Whoa, okay, okay. Eevee has become a new favorite immediately. What the hell do you mean? What is that? Is that Swift? Okay, we're keeping Swift if we can. Shit. Yeah, see? I wish I would have just tested out Eevee before. That's way too good. Okay, Eevee is still bad. Diglett any better? Get him Diglett. And we lost Diglett. Okay. Diglett was probably the worst thing ever. Is there anything we got that isn't gonna immediately die? Oh, Weedles. Okay. We immediately tried Diglett, lost Diglett. I would recommend if you ever do try to do Nuzlocke with this, Diglett is not the best. Which sucks, because that was a shiny Diglett. Okay, we died. Let's put Diglett on the wall. Sorry, shiny Diglett. Let's see. We only have one Oranberry. Okay. Let's go chop some of those down. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, let's see if now that's her. We'll try to kill this, let Abra get the XP for it. Because that 2000 HP should boost Abra up a little bit. Nothing. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get these berries. This way we can just summon the Goblin Army, we'll make sure to heal all the Pokemon. Because trying to be down in the cave with everything almost dead is not good. Okay, let's start with Charmander. Charmander's good. Eevee immediately running off was terrifying. Okay, they're good. Okay, that made me a little bit annoyed. Go. Fishing machine. Yeah, we gotta get rid of self-destruct on this one. Another Pidgey. There we go. Let's get the Goblin Army ready. What? I don't know what was causing that HP to drop. Okay. Flora Protector. I like that we were able to craft the horseshoe. That made everything a little bit better. Ooh. Okay, that's too good. With the mineral fishing rod, do we have... Would this be it? I think that'd be it. Very much that we can do right now. Is that Premier Ball? Okay, okay. Let's go all. Is it jar? Waddle. There we go. Let's do next deck. Do we have to do water is the thing. I'm trying to find out how to make potion, but specifically for the Pokemon. I could also just do this. And this would be water. Yeah, okay, okay. Repel. Can we make lures? That's my big question on this. The mod creator really should make that. Soap dispenser. Alright, so just a potion. Need mushroom, bottled water. Alright, Ruby. we go. So max potion, hyper potion, super repel. See, I need the opposite of the repel. But I think that's nothing they can do right now. What we can do is rare candy. Should do that. One by one. Alright. Still shooting for that. Oh, okay, okay. Could make that. Oh wait. Dark point. Oh. Okay, okay, okay. Let's go ahead. Drop down here. That. Keep forgetting we walled this off for the goblins. Go. Would it be in potion? Okay, carton milk. No. I'm trying to find it. Do we need to buy... Do we not have mushrooms? Also, we'll go ahead. Got Cthulhu. King Slime. Did the bot really just throw a Diglett at me? The insensitivity. Items. Yes, there we go, there we go. Let's get 100 of these. Alright, should be good. Can you spot the potion? Wings? Fledgling, okay. We'll do this one since it doesn't even... Yeah, we got wings, okay. Whoa, mushroom armor? Summon. Nothing too good. Is that wall cantrip? Potion. Yeah, so I found out these are actually really good. They're like the equivalent of a banner for like an area. For like whatever potion you use. So could essentially probably do danger sense. Go. We'll take out the biddle. Oh, yeah, I'll probably need a. Okay, so those are all decoration. Yeah, see? Heart reach, swiftness. If we just can keep mocking up these, we will probably be set. Trying to think on what boss we should go for. I'm really anxious about it too, so we might. There we go. Yeah, what do you platforms? Oh yeah, copper. Terraria finally getting up with Minecraft? What? Who said that? I love Terraria. A little bit too much. Okay, let's... Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Literally could have just... Just do this going on both sides, open it up with a door. There we go. So we can get a boss platform going. Ooh, the shimmering's good, but we'll just keep doing our platforming. Then at some point we really gotta top off the roof for the house, so it's not just a brick. Okay, hold on. Look at this, look at this. See, level 20. Meow? No. Alright. Little bit anxious about this going, like, ultimately wrong with just King Slime. We got 100 potions. We should be good. If we just focus on maintaining them, we should be good. Yeah, we should have also been keeping an eye on our health. We probably should go get some health potions. But Pidgey just alone was able to get it below. I forgot we had grenades. Probably should have stuck with grenades. Oh. Yep. I completely forgot about that one. Okay. That was too funny. Okay, that's... Probably should also equip that. That's gonna be the thumbnail for it, I tell you. I'm scared about the Eye of Cthulhu, just because that one is a little bit more intense. And actually a challenge. Okay, what did we get? One is space. Area. Okay. What others? Clothes, that's good. Let's go ahead and put up all this stuff. Okay, King Slime. Keep the solidifier out so we can put that one up. I think that should have opened it up a little bit more. Yeah, Calamity ores are still the same. Same with that. Is there anything? Ooh, the hazard warning blocks seem nice. Waiting for Genuinely just waiting for a certain day. Can't do squat. Whatever it's not day. Let's get this going. There we go, look at that. I'm John Fortnite. There we go. Got hex crystal. Good, that's good. What we can do, probably want to do this with more dynamite. Oh, more grenades. Why just make our own? Probably be better. There we go. Let's do 200. Can we craft with it? That's my question. Bouncy grenades. Sticky. B-nades are always good. Ice grenade. Okay, blood. Need blood drop for the blood moon. That could be good. No. We'll probably do ice grenade. Yeah, ice torch. Can't make that? Okay. Oh, wait. Where is he? So one of the NPCs should probably sell it. I'm gonna go with you. Firebox. Furniture. No. No. Doesn't even sell ice. Okay. What you got? Traveling merchant store. Could stock up on some of those. Vanity. Yeah, okay, that's good. I don't think we should be able to buy hollow crates yet. We're just using what's at our disposal though, right? If anything, probably Probably, but not right now. Oh yeah, Santa's. Alright, is that it? That is it. Alright. Oh, can we not even do that? Alright. We'll do... King's see if... Oop. Probably do Abra. Probably not. We'll probably keep Pidgey, and then at the last minute swap it out. Yeah, because look, just like with that, Pidgey is mowing through it. Oh, he just threw grenades. Ah, didn't swap it out. Okay, okay. We'll get there, we'll get there. Pidgey is just too good. Hopefully Abra can keep up and not die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die.
The pain.
The pain. Did Abra even get... Abra didn't even get any XP from that. Okay. The hell? Oh, we got the pain. Oh. Don't like that. Yeah, there's nothing much more we can get that we don't already have from King Slime besides a ton of money. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and sell all of it. Fuck, never mind. I don't like the face on that bottom one. What it could get shimmered into. Alright. Let's get Pidgey out. Pidgey's probably our best. Once again, this can't work, or it won't. Why both? Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. I know you could probably benefit from King Slime. can catch one more Pokemon since we did beat him. Probably should check out the Alchemist mod. I'm sure I downloaded it. If not, I'll check it out here in a second. But we've really got to figure out how to actually make that. I don't need to buy my viewers. Honestly, I think between Diglett and Abra's one of my least favorites. Has almost to none actual attacks, and it is useless. Saw this. What if we do teleportation? Blood orb, okay, helpful. Chaos fish and fire. Got the party girl. She sell anything new? Just happy grenades. So we can make something looking pyramids. There we go. There is a pyramid right under it? You're kidding. Okay. All we had to do, okay. One of my favorite things I've done on Terraria was just mined out an entire pyramid's wall and then made it literally just the base at the beginning. Terraria doesn't get like talked about enough. On the builds, they actually have like just pre-generating, and I do know that they haven't really updated it much. Since the game's initial release, but I think that's what makes it like literally a classic. Amberhook. Alright, and heavy boots. Fighting TM. We finally got a TM for that. Alright. Is there a second room on this one, or is it just a one room? It's looking like it's one room. Yeah. It's alright. I really want to get into a sandchasm biome. I really think that'd help. Especially with all the loot they have now. Do we have any fighting style? Fighting type? Psychic, normal, no. Do we... I was gonna check this. To kill the Eye of Cthulhu. Terrified. Forget how much more overpowered grenades make you. Alright. Should we swap out for this? Restores 2 HP on kill. Super fast. Movement speed. Oh, hold on. Okay, we'll do this one. That. actually use that one. That's super dumb. Although, it's like not much different than just... Alright, let's go ahead. Good point, got humbled. This is terrifying, this is terrifying. Got him! Okay, that's great. Yeah, let's heal him up. Let's heal him up. That was so good. Okay. Is there any more we should try and evolve? Eye rifle. Ooh. Okay. But that's so much weaker. Is it? Yeah, it's literally just the same. Okay, okay. We will see what these do. X-Tech alternator, ability power. Okay. think it was here. I think it'd be probably this one. Jesus. Yeah, now what we can do is put that there. Finally got the triad. Yeah, we should probably upgrade our armor. This one might be a little too good. Okay, so it's just the stars we need. Are you? This items. Okay. Okay. That. Potion. Okay. Can help us see. We also got not him, but Grace Abinator's too good. Ingredients. Ores. There we go. There we go. Good. Rubies. Yeah, look at Psybeam. Ooh. Is that literally Hermes? That's literally Hermes' hat? Okay. Coming from 10. Rolling stars. Okay. Didn't it say centuries? Okay. Whip. And then, yeah, just whip damage. $15. okay. I need to... It's just the fact that it's got less damage. Attack, steal, Riptide. I think I might just do this. Yeah. Oh yeah, the champion. Champion. Okay. It's... Oh, the mini drill. Is that any better? Honestly, is that any better than a copper pickaxe? Just looking at it. Let's go ahead, just sell all these up. As much as I want Kadabra to get leveled up a little bit more, I really think we need to focus on... I want to see PP. So what we'll do... Let's just keep doing this. Eevee, you were toughing out the worst battle ever. There we go. Honestly, from this, yeah, from all of these, we should be able to just buy back all the stuff we did for the potions. Which we could. I don't know if Tim would be a good idea. Let's get Evie back here. Is it a flying pinky? Definitely don't want Dr. Bones again. Ah. What level is it? 20. Shouldn't do another. Honestly, it's a little bit confusing. There's no continuity on like what level the Pokemon evolve at. So we've done those. We've done that, we just haven't done. There we go. What if we... It's gonna sound really dumb. I'm thinking about swapping up from Eevee, because Eevee's like level 30 now. Yeah, level 26. And isn't going anywhere. Could try our hand at Ghastly's evolution. There we go. Look at that, level 15 already. I'm honestly glad that these things don't actually target the Pokemon. Completely just remembered I could actually also fight. I didn't like Dr. Bones. I'm terrified about Weedle's well-being. Kakuna no, Kakuna no. Wait, hold on. What if we do Harden? There we go. Okay, who would be next? There we go. Easy farming. Yep. I think Geodude is the next one. What the hell is that? restores 5 health on hit. Yeah, we're doing that. Okay. We got Spitfire. See, it's always a shame that not a lot. I don't even think many of these guys even sell anything special to the Blood Moon. There we go. Did Eevee get his signature now? Close. Yeah, this might be some of, if not the best way to farm XP for him. Alright, I'm gonna step away for just a second. I'm back and just realized Eevee can run through. Alright, so we're having to fix this. Okay. Storage. Go. Time to do all this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, okay. Get a Magnite. Okay, I don't know why I said fainted. It didn't faint. We haven't used it. We're gonna let that get back to 1 HP. That is annoying. I'm not. No. We caught a Magnite. Which one should we? Butterfree or? I think I might get rid of Kakuna. Yeah. Ninja Turtle. Alright, let's keep all of our banners because we really need that. And what we'll do... We'll go ahead and put all these over here. Okay, 2 diamond and that. Alright. Diamond. This was the mushrooms, I think. Since we're not entirely getting rid of Kakuna, like we're not putting it up forever, we're just gonna put it in storage. Okay, there should be a revive bottle. Okay. So that was diamond. What was the other one? There we go. While we're at this, just in case if we have this issue happen again, we'll just keep those on hand. I think I made the mistake the other one. It just completely erased all of them. Which is not good. Oh, that's so good. Does he have... That's it. Okay. See... I'm just gonna stick on these. How much? Yeah, bro, I'm up to level 7. Alright, I'm gonna step away for just a quick second. I'm gonna dismiss all of them. I'll be right back. Alright. Won't lie, I really think the Nev's probably get more. See the Abyss? Yeah, he's just the Abyss. Just too good. Go ahead and get another one. See, this is a quick way to farm out levels a little bit. I don't know if we would consider it cheating, but... Actually sells the stuff for animals. That's cute. Is there any... Could probably do Ghastly. I'm gonna risk it on Geodude. I'm really gonna risk it to get him some levels, because he is probably our worst. Yeah, look at that. Geodude already level 19. See what we get with Rock Throw. Yeah, we get good. We get the good stuff. Okay, I'm wondering... Yeah, Charmander's next. It took me a second. Because... Blood Greed Mega... Charmander, no! Charmander, no! How much? That didn't even level him up. He didn't kill one. Okay. And we lost Charmander. Good news. We have one spot open in the game. Oh, two. Right. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Alright, let's try evolving Eevee. Oh, hold on. I think I'm realizing something. What stones are there? Okay, so we need a lot of ore. Let me see. TM. Only go to fighting TM. Okay. Maybe I might do Moonstone. Yeah. No, never mind. Fire is Hellstone, Wonderstone, Platinum, Coral, Sapphire. Yeah, we'll do that. Platinum. Because we don't have any water types. Platinum, Coral, Sapphire. Okay. I gotta make sure I keep reminding myself. Should be enough. Nothing over there. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay, so I could just craft any of the dyes. Okay, okay. The hell? Oh, second pyramid over there. Right next to the first one. Oh, yeah. Forgot we were doing Eevee on this one. It is directly down here. Is it? let's just go through here. Go all the way to the bottom, and we should be able to just mine straight down. Alright. Time to completely descend. Which I'm really liking the armor for doing the store because it means we can actually have armor and not have to wear the mining helmet. Aw, damn it. Okay. What was we needing? Coral. Oh yeah, sapphire. That's literally the one thing we needed. Stone, waterstone. Alright. See if we can get Eevee to evolve. That's just too good. We could just swap it out for that. Reason I am doing this, I'm trying to find the right NPC. Over here. No. Where's the champion? There he is. Wait, can I just... Our own goblin invasion. Only level 17. Yeah, we're just onslaught. That only got him level 18? Should I just do... What we're doing here is we're going to make a pit. Not for NPCs, but if they want to fall in, they can. But this is going to be a little farming pit. This way we can. Hex. There we go. Is there anything that these are even used for? Can make a blindfold. Yeah, that's it. That's it, just the blindfold. Is there any... Let me check. I think for him we have to... be thunder. Yeah, so gold and topaz. We really should, while we have the time. Yeah, it is over this way, right? Oh, we already passed up. That ain't too bad. Ooh, there we go. I do really like the space creature one though, because quite frankly, the Alien series is one of my favorites. Especially like Alien Earth, like that was a hectic series. I'm excited for season 2. I'm hoping it does get season 2. supposed to be. Yeah, it's literally all the way down here. The hell? Oh. There we go. He's just getting the job done. Son of a bitch! Ah, damn it! Alright, not too bad. Oh, there we go. Okay. See, how much money do we still have? 10 platinum. We are good until Dr. Oak comes back. Let's go ahead and buy some bombs. We'll even just do dynamite, because I don't think it's going to be that bad. Which one's closer? Alright. You find out how to get the Alchemist NPC, because we really need that. Just buying teleportation potions so we can find underground huts would be good. Yeah, we're gonna want to keep him for the fight. Alright, I'm gonna exit out and go to the mod menu. Be in, manage. Yeah, we didn't get it. Honest mistake, honest mistake. Streamers first, oopsie. This way, we can have a little bit better NPCs. I'm excited about the Iridium. I'm needing a stream starting again. Might do that in a night or two. For a second, I was worried the stream got stuck all the way back in the Blood Moon, because for some reason it was showing it like that, so really glad it didn't happen. Alrighty. Should be getting done here in a second. I did not download that much. So how was everyone's day? Alright. Here we have the Pokemon we've lost. Yeah, we probably should clear that up. Okay. Got this Metapod. There we go. And we got Butterfree. Where is our Butterfree? There it is. It has 4 attacks. Okay. Bug, flying, so it's String Shot, Harden, Psybeam. You got Psybeam, right? Yeah. Air Slash. Oh yeah, that's going to kill the Eater Worlds. What level is he? There he is. Just 15. He mows through him. Okay, we'll just keep. This is probably one of the easiest, like, ways to farm out XP for him. not getting his signature move. Oh, hold on. Let me heal him up. Okay. Trainer glove. Did that do it? No, he just doesn't get a signature, okay. Which is sad. Yeah, wing attack. Air slash is probably better than wing attack, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's see, is there any of the tougher ones that we could probably throw out to see? I think Butterfree might be one of the best. There we go. Yeah, we'll do Professor Bones. Big ol' thunderstorm. Alright. Get him. Decent level. 31. Pretty decent. It's just the carpenter. Oh yeah, this is well, this is my torches. So we can torches. Whole bunch of them. Alright. And supplements. Fruits. Oh, okay. That's actually really nice. Let's go buy one of everything. Should be for a minute. Oh yeah, arena shop, arena shop. Damn. Alright. Potions. Wormhole. Lesser luck. Luck. Greater luck. We ain't got nothing good. Yeah. Here we go. Should just about that. Another one of those. Put those in there. This should just be it throwing. Maybe. Probably not. Could be arranged. Yeah. There we go. Let me. Yeah, we're still missing 2 Pokemon. Oh shit. I keep forgetting to do the one thing I wanted to do. Alright, let's just even this out so we can. Yeah. There we go. option for auto? No. There we go. I think this is gonna make it so much easier to do that stuff. Alright. Let us go ahead and heal you up. What do we want to help fight the wall flesh? Not the wall flesh. too soon, too soon. I think that will kill us. Definitely want Vaporeon. Where's Butterfree? There we go. Yeah, because Butterfree's ability. These are two highest. Level 31, 29, 24. Yeah, it should be fine. Oh, what? There. What would that even do? Okay, we'll go ahead and get this. Hey, welcome to the stream. Currently building this up. I'm gonna see if we could just fight the Eater of Worlds on mainland. Which I know generally you have to do it in the corruption. Same with the Crimson, but I don't think it hurts to try. Okay, where is the NPC that we need? He's somewhere. I think he's in that mess right there. I think I bought it. Hold on. No, I did not. Oh wait. No. Can't even use that. Let me see just how good Butterfree is now. Just like that, Butterfree is amazing. Okay. Butterfree didn't even take a hit. Alright. Let's go ahead and go to Fight the Eater Worlds. I'll probably be having it in stream here in about 20, but really want to try and get a few bosses in tonight. I really think the only thing that could complicate this fight is going to be my HP. Because really, let's face it, one hit, I am out. Surface. There we go. Damn, I did not... How much damage did Butterfree even take? Hold on. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Let's actually... It's not going to look the best, but it's going to help us get all of that. I know we might die on this, but... Like I was saying, you're free, Jesus. Is Butterfree now one of my new favorites? Yeah. Yeah, Butterfree is a favorite. Butterfree is a least favorite. Okay, bad dream. that is good. We'll save 2 of these. There we go. 14% plus that defense. Okay. Riptide. Boots. Raw matter. Silver shadow scales. Like brain rot. Stealth strikes. Not using that. You use for... Okay, so his weapons. We'll get the dank staff. What? Is it just... Okay. Oh. Honestly sad that this is all the shops are now. Still Princess Crown, get that for myself. Refresh. Chatarm. Codad time. Okay, that's actually really good. I'm stuck up on his accessories. Yeah. Goblock ear. Tempting. Alright, got that. Do it again. It's not even... Alright, I think that should be almost dead. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we have nothing else we can buy from him. Life Analyzer. Yeah, that should be it, yeah. Alright. Okay, let's... Should be good. Okay. Let's not forget, we can also sell meteorite automatically. And obsidian. treasure. Okay. Let's get Star Fury. Regen. Charm. Celestial Magnet. Items. Do we need Slime Staff? New items? New items. Nothing good. Cycle shop. Air blocks. Okay. Now everything is coming back to me. Okay. We're getting so much more stuff available for killing the 2 bosses. Is it him? No, but he has some good stuff. Be him? Yeah. Haven't got Blizzard and Bottle. Oh, she has some good stuff. Yeah. Shop changer, water boss drops. I don't think we're that worried about that. Don't think we fought the Perfectors. I'll just go ahead and sell these because defense, yeah. Definitely have not found anything for that. Oh, okay. The Perfectors is just, yeah, okay. I'll just keep that. Getting there on storage. Aerial light bar, Maxcraft. Is there no aerial light stuff? Okay. What about aerial light armor? Fossil armor. Unblessed. Not really what we're looking for on this one though, but can we make a new? Okay. What we need to compare is 16 damage for the whip. Alright. Tag critical. Not seeing anything really that good staff-wise besides the biter. says is to let that. Yeah, no, I'm not swapping that over then. The lacerate. Tempting. Magical feather minion. I kind of like the little blood dude we got. Okay. What can we make ranged weapon? Nothing. We'll go ahead and take out the Demonite. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this set. Yeah, okay. So 16 to 24. Wasn't bad. Okay, so it does give this the original set bonus too. Okay. Don't mind me. So we are still 2 Pokemon short. Let's go ahead and get a water type. Which probably... Hold on. Okay, so that doesn't count. Is that Squirtle? Yeah. Oh, didn't realize there was a wonder chest down here. No TM. Let's go ahead and go this way, grab something. The hell is that? Okay. We're still good. What mon spawn over here? Violet ball. Should we get Chikorita? It's only level 2 and I feel like it's gonna die immediately. But also, I don't think we have any actual grass types. honestly, best luck on that. Do we have any light sources? Can we make any light sources? We can. Let's use that. Is that another beehive? Okay. Let's throw away some stuff so we can actually loot down here, because I think a lot of better stuff is going to be down on this side. Is that bee cart? Okay. Let's get some jungle torches. This is crazy. And Butterfree still hasn't taken any damage, by the way. Okay. Is that Bellsprout? Yeah. Okay. Okay. That doesn't get it. Alright, we got Bellsprout, we got one more left. There we go. So left crystal. we find another tree? Okay, okay, okay. Let's go get this. Never mind. Okay. B-Rod. Keep that. It's tempting. Keep the B-Nades. Keep the honey. Tinker's Workshop. Okay. Let's go ahead, get this. So what do we need for one of these? Okay, 10 iron. Chest. Okay, so we need chest, silver, iron. So we grab Paris. What is Bellsprout's even ability? Just fine with, okay. Oh, that's so beautifully animated. Okay, so it was silver. Okay. Should be it. Is it the become shop changer? Basic furniture? No. Yeah. Furniture, yeah. Okay, let's not jump the gun yet. That was actually a jump scare on good. I'll do. Okay, so we need wood. Oh, we just don't got wood. Okay. That was. So we need silver and chest. Okay. Silver. Just bought all the chests. Check what the witch doctor has. Good stuff. Sounds boomstick. There's no lead. Also, that's a collection. Alright, so we still have the Desert Scourge, Giant Clam, Crabulon. Oh, yeah, we got all these guys left. Did we seriously? Is that lasagna? Oh. What is this thing? No chest. Okay. What do you mean we don't have any lead? It's like all we have to have. Jump summon. Yeah, we can do this so we can level up our Bellsprout. What is Bellsprout? See, level. Nice. Let's go just get up a full shovel. What has he got? Bullet seed. Okay, let's see what bullet seed does. That will be right in this room. Yeah, mine went so hard. Could have just been making that? Okay. Go ahead, see. Huh. Fishing toilet. Okay. Okay, so once again, iron. Oh, we also need mana crystals. Furniture. What the hell do you mean? Oh yeah, there it is. There we go. Alright. Yeah, we bumped it up by 3 hundo. Let's see. Which rod is better? Yeah, definitely. Alright. I think this is probably a good stop point. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. Literally, look at this. Got everything to second evolution except for him. Let's see. Thunder. It was gold and topaz. Shooting star. end the stream here for tonight. I'll do some things off camera, but nothing too much. Alright. This actually is really good. We got a lot of heavy hitters. We really gotta give some of these ones a little bit more loving. Because once you look at it, 36, 31, 29. So he's up next. 3, 29, 28. Okay, so 23, 23, 24, 24. Yeah. This will be our little team for the next one. Alright. I want to say thank you for joining the stream and actually being here. Hopefully, next up we can actually fight Skeletron, and probably go in hard mode immediately, but we still have some Calamity bosses to actually fight. Alright, thank you all so much.